Hello there from Texas. This is Grandpa Hickory talking to you. Listen, I wanted to talk to you. I know that we're all concerned. There was an attempt on President Donald Trump's life yesterday evening, and we're all aware of it. You know, the week before, last week, I heard on the news, I always listen to Morning Team on WBAP 820 AM, and there was discussions and talking there about the left, the Democrats, making threats on Donald Trump's life, suggesting assassination, since they couldn't put him in jail because the man's innocent. You remember Jesus? Do you remember what they did to Jesus? Remember that. Remember what they did to Jesus. Remember what they did to the Apostle Paul. Remember what they did to John Baptist. Look what they did to Isaiah. Yes, the Isaiah the prophet, the Old Testament. Did you know that they cut him in sunder? Little bitty pieces of his body, they cut him to shreds. But anyway, fast forward to November 22nd, 1963. They could not get John Fitzgerald Kennedy to go along with their agenda. They all stood to make hundreds of millions and billions of dollars from the defense industry, and by allowing arms to be made and sending our boys to war in Vietnam, a war that we should never have been involved in, and Kennedy didn't want anything to do with it. So what happened? He was murdered. Why was his brother murdered? His brother was the AG, the Attorney General. And they had things on Lyndon Baines Johnson. They were going to charge that man. He should have been put in prison. He was not going to be on the next ticket with John Fitzgerald Kennedy, and he was aware of this. And you can find there's connections between him and John Connally against John Fitzgerald Kennedy. But anyway, I'm going to get back to our subject. The fact is, the Secret Service utterly failed with John Fitzgerald Kennedy. They had nobody in Dealey Plaza, a building with a view. They had nobody on the grassy knoll. Just think about it. I just want you to think about that just for a few minutes. Now, fast forward to 2024. Butler, Pennsylvania, the Trump rally. A man climbed up there with a rifle. A man saw him and he ran and told the police, there's a man with a gun up there. He's got a rifle. He ran and told the Secret Service people. It was about 4.5 minutes later, the man started shooting. He killed one, and there's two, from what I understand, and they may die. They may not make it. Utter, total security failure. But it goes beyond that. The fact is, the left has vowed to have President Donald Trump assassinated. That I heard on the news. I heard that on WBAP 820 AM. And I saw it on different areas on the YouTube news in addition to that. And I thought, how can they do this? You know, it's supposed to be a federal crime to make a threat against a president's life. The FBI has been bought off for years. You know that just well as I do. Did you hear about the ATF? I think it was last month. That man that he was at home with his wife. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. They was in bed sleeping. ATF pulled up. Remember? It's all over the news. I remember it. This thing wasn't done in a corner, people. The ATF battered his door down with a battering ram. They come in. Well, he didn't know who in the world they were. So he got his gun to protect him and his wife. And what did they do? They shot him right in the head, man, in cold-blooded murder. Have you heard anything else about it? No. The media ain't going to let you hear anything else about it. That's their guys. That's their team that they have weaponized against the people of America. But let's go back right now to Butler, Pennsylvania, okay? Now they said the FBI is in complete, total control of this investigation. The Secret Service has no authority, only the FBI. Keep in mind, neighbor, I want to remind you, this is the same FBI Merrick Garland in charge, the Nazi-looking guy, okay? Put him in a Nazi uniform in your mind. He looks just like a Nazi, and he is. They're fascists. But he wrote, this is the same FBI we're talking about that invaded Mar-a-Lago and was given the authority to kill Trump by Merrick Garland. Friends, that was right there on the news. I heard that, and I know you heard it too. This thing wasn't sat in the corner. This is public news. Well, I tell you, I pray that there's no war started in America. You know, the Democrats, back in the 1860s, they started the Civil War. They got up and walked out of Senate. They walked out of Congress. They walked out of the United States of America. They negotiated with France to come in and kill Americans, their entire families and everything. Yes, it's history. Research it. I have. I remember I was taught history in school. They don't teach it now. They don't want your children and mine and our grandchildren, great-grandchildren knowing anything about America. They don't want us knowing nothing. The dumber we are, the better it is for them. That's why they've been dumbing down America since 1964. As soon as they killed Kennedy, they started putting their agenda in place that Kennedy was going to prevent. He was even going to do away with the FBI and the CIA. He was going to shut them boys down, and his brother was going after the mafia in the United States of America. He's going to get these murderers out of our nation. They all got together, and they killed Kennedy. But this, keep in mind, people, keep in mind, this is the same FBI that came rushing into Mar-a-Lago, ready for a gun battle with the Secret Service team that was around Trump, so they could kill Trump and say, well, we guess some of the Secret Service bullets must have hit him. Yeah, it wasn't our guys. We're good guys. We're Democrats. We're on the Democrat side. We're FBI. Friends, our Justice Department has been bribed. I pray to God that we don't end up going into a civil war. But I wanted to put this video up just for you to remember John Fitzgerald Kennedy. They had to kill his brother because his brother was going to open up the investigation, because him and Jackie both, the Kennedy family, knew that the Warren Commission was all a front put on LBJ by LBJ so that he could cover it up completely. He didn't want everybody to know his involvement, him and John Connally's involvement in the murder of our president in 1963. He didn't want that. Do you know that when he died, he had $900 million in his savings account? This is LBJ. Where'd he get that money? Defense contracts. Our boys that were murdered and killed in Vietnam, in that war that John Kennedy was never going to allow to happen. Any road, God bless President Trump. Pray for him. Pray for his family. Please pray for the family of the deceased person that was killed there at the rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, at the Trump rally. And those other two individuals that were shot. To my understanding, they are critically injured and they may die. Pray for them. Pray for their families. This is a very serious hour in our nation, in our world. Pray for America. I know you're angry. I know you're upset. I'm just excited, people. I mean, I'm just excited. Hey, do you have your coffee? I got my coffee too. I got some German coffee. It's called Jacob's, and I sure do love it. It's a freeze-dried coffee. I don't know if you've ever tried it or not, but I got it right here, and I sure do like it. You know, I like to share good things. That's why I show people things like that and let them know. You know, when you find something good, you want to tell everybody about it. Hey, you have a good day. Please pray for America because, you know, the Democrat Party started the Civil War in the 1860s. They may do the very same thing now. They know they're not going to win in this coming election. And you see what they did. They created the army of Antifa and BLM. And you see what happened January 6th. It was BLM, Antifa, and FBI on January 6th. Nancy Pelosi made sure that the Army National Guard was not sent in to protect. She refused it from Trump because they have their agenda. And they pulled it. The insurrection was done and caused and created by the left. You know that just as well as I do. Well, anyway, hey, you have a good day. And please pray for the United States of America. Pray for all the West, the UK, everybody. Everybody is upset about this. Australia is very upset about this. So is Canada. You know, I even heard that Putin, even in Russia, that Putin said if the United States would allow him to, that he would put a service detail around Trump that no one could get through. And that's not threatening. That's because, you see, to the leaders of the world, Trump's important too. Why? Why is Trump important to the world? Because the man is a peaceful man. The man is a man that respects people. And in turn, he is respected too. This is why the left despises him. This is why the left despised John Fitzgerald Kennedy and his brother. And they had to eliminate him. Because they knew that Robert Kennedy was going to be elected president. They had to stop him. So they assassinated him just like they did the brother. His brother, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. They stopped him and they stopped Robert. But just remember, this is the same FBI in charge of this entire security operation there in Butler, Pennsylvania right now. That the Secret Service can't investigate, only the FBI can. And it's the same FBI that invaded Mar-a-Lago and had been given the orders to use force if necessary. Come on. And then Merrick Garland had Donald Trump's wife's panties confiscated so that he could handle her panties. People, that's what we've got in our Justice Department. What crooked, twisted people that we have in high places that are evil people that should not be there. Pray for America. You have a good day. I'll see you on the next video.